There are two sides to the same coin, and this is the same situation with Adobe buying Figma. So let's look at the positives and the negatives of each aspect of the Figma deal. Alright, so the first aspect is going to be the money. Adobe has bought Figma for $20 billion, and it's a huge sum, double of their actual valuation. Now, the positive aspect of this is that Figma will be able to grow 3 to 4 times the rate that it's growing right now. So when we look at things, it's also going to increase the number of features and the offerings it provides to all its program users. And because of the increase in money, Figma is going to have a larger community now, and speculation is that they'll either shut down Adobe XD or reduce Adobe XD's size by a humongous amount and just focus on Figma's growth. So this focused growth is going to be beneficial for us users as well as a ton of new competition coming into the marketplace with this news. And they've said that they're going to focus more on friends of Figma, which is the community aspect of Figma. So you'll see events happening in your city, you'll see free events happening online, and you'll also be getting a lot more merch, which I till date have not gotten a single piece of. Now let's look at the negative side of the money aspect. If I just zoom into this page right here, there is this one line called "It would be Adobe's biggest ever acquisition." That means Adobe is putting in all its beliefs on Figma to return its investment. That means the ROI needs to be high on this as well. So even though they say all their plans remain the same for now, in the future, they are most likely gonna either make it a part of Adobe CC and then make it a premium software, or they're gonna keep it independent from Adobe CC and then make it a premium software. So much like a tool like Sketch, where you have to pay $9 a month, they'll probably reduce the amount of money you have to pay a month. Now, we've seen with freeware software like Figma is that some features are free and some are paid. So there will be a slow and gradual increase in the number of paid features as compared to the free features. Much like what we see in Adobe XD. You can only share one prototype, you can only have collaboration in a limited environment. A lot of other things are going to be there in Figma as well. Again, it's speculation from my end, but it is possible. Now let's come up to the second aspect of this acquisition. Figma is a completely cloud-based platform. Even if you install the app, it loads everything from the cloud. So you're not really storing anything on your computer. And Adobe strives for a similar thing. So the fact that two big cloud companies are coming together means that we'll see better infrastructure on the positive aspect of this cloud aspect. Now this would mean faster load times, improved storage, as well as an overall better infrastructure and reliability of the platform is concerned. We all know Adobe does create reliable software which you can rely on from a business or even an individual aspect. Now let's come out to the negative aspect, because the negative is the big one here. Creative Cloud, in my personal opinion, is not the best software out there when it comes to a Play Store or an App Store for other apps. So you have to install Creative Cloud. It takes a little bit of storage and RAM, which already is so low because of Chrome and Photoshop and other tools. But apart from that, a lot of the softwares right here in Creative Cloud have a tendency to be behind a paywall. So again, the payment structure will change if it comes into Creative Cloud. Apart from that, they will continue to promote their other software alongside Figma. So if you're a Figma user, you'll get ads and notifications for other tools and softwares as well. The Creative Cloud system or software isn't the best when it comes to distribution of software. Adobe XD's cloud platform wasn't the best. So if they share it, it's gonna be terrible. Now let's come to the third aspect. People were afraid of this, is the collaborative aspect of everything. As you can see, the Adobe chairman and CEO states that the combination of Adobe and Figma is transformational and will accelerate our vision for collaborative creativity. Adobe is famous for having its tools interact with each other. So Photoshop and Illustrator interact well with each other. Not bad, but not the best interaction, to be honest. tools like Photoshop and Premiere and After Effects. Everyone's heard of that interaction or relationship. So there are a lot of relationships that are there in the Adobe suite. They want every software to be able to interact with each other. That means there's gonna be more collaboration in other softwares as well, which from a positive aspect or from a positive outlook is a good thing, because now a lot of illustrators who use Illustrator will now be able to use Figma alongside it. However, negative. Negative again is the fact that this entire conversion of Photoshop to Figma or Illustrator to Figma or whatever it is tedious on the system. It's not as seamless as it seems, because even with Photoshop and XD, it was just copying a flat image. So it wasn't that useful. So the interaction aspect, not a huge fan of their previous endeavors. If they can pull it off this time, good for them. Now, last but not the least, let's talk about the whole business aspect of things. Inside this Variety article, it says, deeply committed to keeping Figma operating anonymously. This is something that Figma CEO has shared. This is something Adobe CEO has shared. And it seems to hold true for the first quarter that they're going to be together. Now, this means that Figma is going to have its same values intact. Figma is not directly really answering to Adobe for its revenues, an increase of $400 million. So it's a good sign that Adobe has faith in Figma when it comes to money. Figma is not growing at a slower rate than it was. It's growing continuously, and they see that as a positive, and most smart business people will keep that in mind and not change the current values of the company so as to maintain at least that same amount of growth. And because of the increased because of the $20 billion being injected, it's going to have a positive impact, more or less. So the negative side of this whole business acquisition is the Adobe model. Adobe follows the model of getting more money faster than having a lot of features free and just allowing a lot of enterprise customers, education or business customers to come in and get their premium software or version. So if you install a tool like, say, Photoshop, it says start free trial. It's not functioning on a freemium model like Figma does, where it offers a lot of features for free and then some features are paid, so you have to upgrade. Here, there's no upgradation. It's simply get a free trial, pay us, or you can't get the software. In fact, Ashish has very well defined this in his tweet that people will start searching for Adobe CC Figma cracked version on Google very soon. So that depicts that sentiment that people have as well. So their business model is completely different. So I'm intrigued to see how their business models clash, or will they just be completely independent in business models as well? Adobe's execs have a tendency of being a little more ruthless when it comes to business. So let's see how the CEO of Figma and the CEO of Adobe sit well. Weird bonuses that I wanted to put at the end, which are a huge red flag. The first one is that when Figma started, they stated the Adobe practices to not be ideal for designers. So they wanted to create a separate tool. Now this is again not quoted, so don't quote me on this. But here the CEO has written on their official blog about the acquisition. I grew up using Adobe software and it was a critical part of my personal creative journey. It is an incredible opportunity and honor to help Adobe build the next generation of creative tools. So this wasn't sitting very well with a lot of people who were saying that Figma was formed out of this negative outlook on Adobe, and then now joining Adobe. So that was a huge red flag. Apart from that, I have heard that the Figma CEO will be answering to David Wadhwani. Looks like a good guy, honestly. You can make out he's a friendly personality. But apart from that, he has been about growth, because he's been a CEO of Council of Venture Capitals, etc. So he knows a lot about growth, and we still have to see how he plays a role in this whole Figma acquisition. That's probably the only concern for me at this point is how Adobe is going to control Figma. And David Wadhwani seems like a good guy, good fellow. He was brought 1 year ago and he's had a lot of experience otherwise with Adobe, with other companies like Oracle and iHarvest and App Dynamics. But let's see what it comes up to. Sketch is looking very, very delicious right now. So this was a bonus video. Hit the like button. Even if you don't like this acquisition, like the video. And comment down below what you feel about this acquisition. Are you happy about it? Are you scared? What are you scared about? Put that in the comments, man. Let's have a nice competition. Let's have a nice chat with the Adobe people out there.